Welcome back with another edition of Value My Vote 2011 One-on-One with the Candidates. And we're joined by the councilman from the 11th District who really shocked me. We're at the Board of Elections. It's the last day, and I thought he was walking in to switch. You know, I've been talking about it, but no, you are running for the 11th District.
I am. I'm not changing my mind. There's no last-minute decision. I filed in April to run in the 11th District, and I'm staying there.
Okay. Councilman Cole, a lot of people have said you've done an excellent job. We've talked to even just now Bill Marker and others who said, you know, if I lived in 11th, I'm not even going to do it. You were uncontested. I think today a libertarian candidate may have jumped into the race. It shows a lot about your leadership and what you've done. What do you plan to do over the next 4 years if elected?
And I believe at the local level of government, it's all about constituent service. I think when people call your office, they want their local elected official to respond. And whether it's a street light out or a rat in the alley, they just want you to help them. And, you know, I've learned a long time ago that it really comes down to answering the constituents' calls. I give everybody my cell phone number. I return every call myself. I answer every email myself. And I think, you know, by and large, people appreciate that. And if I can't help, I tell you. I don't give you the runaround. If you need to be talking to Congressman Cummings, I put you in touch with Congressman Cummings' office. If you need to be talking with your state senator, I put you in touch with your state senator. So for me, nothing's going to change in that regard. Customer service, constituent service will always be first. You know, I still think we have a long way to go when it comes to investing in our neighborhoods and figuring out creative ways to rebuild neighborhoods. And I'm looking forward to another opportunity on the council to really advance the whole concept of rebuilding neighborhoods through Dollar Home Program, something that I've been trying to figure out how to fund. And I do think that that's a way. Looking at some of the neighborhoods that were rebuilt in the Schaefer years, he used creative funding and financing to build dollar houses, neighborhoods, and I think that's something that we should explore again.
Absolutely. It was a great. Now, you mentioned it. You worked on a state level before. You've worked for the Congressman Cummings before. You've been rumored to be the candidate that could easily win against Jack Young for city council president, but the conspiracy theory is out there that the governor has kind of wiped everybody clear of this race. Can you speak to that and kind of eliminate that?
I can dispel that myth easily. My decision had to do with my 3 kids. I've got a soon-to-be 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And, you know, those are ages where they need a dad. And it's hard enough being a council person and not being home. It's even harder. I've watched Council President Young and how much time he spends out in the community. I've watched the mayor. I've watched several mayors and how they age when they're in office. And my time will come. It's just not this year. And, you know, when I sat down and talked to my kids about it, I realized, particularly my son who was 6 years old, and I think you understand what it's like having a little guy around. I want to be there for him. And I'm young. I'm the youngest member of the council. Next to Bill Ferguson, there isn't anybody in office younger than me right now. And, you know, I have plenty of time. I don't need to make a rash decision that's going to impact my family in an adverse way. And at the end of the day, politics and serving the public is one thing, but I still want to be a dad and a husband, and it's been a hard balance. I've had to learn how to take time off and to turn off my BlackBerry. I'm the type of person that likes to respond immediately, and I really have tried harder to distance myself and give myself some time with the family, and I just knew right now it wasn't the right time for me.
I think that's what Tip O'Neill when he said all politics is local. I think he was talking about that, the family.
House.
Yeah, and it is. That's a big issue because if you're not structured at home, then you can never serve people if you can't even serve your family. What are the bigger issues that you see focused in the next 4 years that you hear your residents in the 11th District and throughout the city complain about time and time again that you think the city can work on over the next 4 years?
It's blight. It's neighborhood blight. And while my district is changing quite a bit, the 11th has moved south and shifted east a little bit. I think it still comes down to grime and crime, but blight. Some of our neighborhoods are just suffering from the inside, and we have to figure out ways, whether it's raising whole blocks and creating community parks. We have way too many vacant houses, and it reflects poorly on the city, but it also contributes to our fires, you know, the amount of just grime that's out there. And I think if we're ever going to attract people back to the city, we have to create livable neighborhoods. So for me, it's focusing on those weaker neighborhoods, the ones that need the help the most, and figuring out creative ways to get them a shot in the arm. Some level of investment, whether it's creating new parks or building a new recreation center. Those are the types of things that make a difference in a neighborhood.
Now, for those who want to contribute, who want to, jump on board and help you out through this election, how can they get in contact with you, both in the city and for your election?
Sure, they can always get me at City Hall, but my campaign website, my personal site is www.williamcole.net. And as I said, I respond to every email myself, so whether I get it on my personal account or my city council address, I'll be responding myself. So.
Councilman Cole, we want to thank you so much for your service. Wish you well in your next election.
Appreciate it.
All
Thank you
right?
very much.
Not a
Thanks for the
problem.
opportunity.
No problem. And we'll be back with more Value My Vote.